call the Administration and Finance Committee to order. First item, roll call, please.
Dr. Brophy? Here. Dr. Brophy is present. Mr. Castillo?
Here.
Mr. Castillo is present. Dr. Davis?
Here.
Dr. Davis is present. Ms. Ellis?
Here.
Ms. Ellis is present. Mr. Garvey?
Here.
Mr. Garvey is present. Ms. Holloway?
Here.
Holloway is present. Ms. Melreen?
Here.
Ms. Melreen is present. Mr. Morris?
Here.
Mr. Morris is present. Ms. Orange Jones? Ms. Orange Jones is present. Mr. Rock? Mr. Rock is present. And Ms. Boche? Ms. Boche is present. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Your consent agenda is ready for approval, adding items 4.1, 4.4, 5.1, and 7.1.
Motion, please. Dr. Davis, seconded by Mr. Rock. Any objection? No comments? Motion carried. Thank you. Next item, please.
On page 25, item 3.1, consideration of an update report regarding the LEAs in non-compliance with the 70% instructional requirement for fiscal year 2020, 2021. The recommendation is to receive.
Receive. I need a motion, please.
Second.
Dr. Bovee, seconded by Ms. Ellis. Any questions, concerns? Without any objection, motion carried. Next item, please.
On page 26, item 3.2, consideration of the minimum foundation program formula for 2023-2024. The department's recommendation was posted online on March the 3rd, and that handout has been distributed. The recommendation is to approve the department recommendation, which is to approve the fiscal year 2023-2024 MFP formula to include the current MFP base per pupil amount of $4,015 in level 1 of the formula, and a pay raise of $2,000 for certificated staff, plus the current annual retirement contribution rate as established for the Teachers Retirement System of Louisiana in the actuarial evaluation approved by the Public Retirement Systems Actuarial Committee, and a pay raise of $1,000 for non-certificated support staff, plus the current year annual retirement contribution rate as established for the Louisiana School Employees Retirement System in the actuarial evaluation approved by the Public Retirement Systems Actuarial Committee in level 4 of the formula, as proposed by the governor in the 2023-2024 executive budget, and an increase in the mandated cost allocation per pupil in level 3 of $33 from $100 to $133 per pupil, and an allocation to support the implementation of differentiated pay programs totaling 1,000 times the teacher count in the annual staffing data collection in level 4 of the formula, with allowable uses to include stipends for teachers in critical shortage areas as determined by Bessie, stipends for highly effective teachers as defined in RS 17, section 3881 through 3095, and Bulletin 130, section 309, and/or stipends for teachers working in high-need schools consisting of populations of economically disadvantaged rate of 85% or greater, and stipends for teacher leadership, such as classroom teachers appointed to lead weekly teacher collaborations, coaches, or mentors. Additionally, an allocation to support the delivery of apprenticeships to high school students in level 4 of the formula to include funding allocated based on the number of eligible enrolled students per fall or spring semester, a school system defined as rural per the Federal U.S. Census Bureau definition would receive $3,500 per enrolled student and may enroll up to 250 applicants annually across both semesters. Non-rural school systems would receive $2,500 per enrolled student and may enroll up to 250 applicants annually across both semesters. Additionally, a transfer of the resident teacher stipend allocation from the pay raise allocation to its own section in level 4, continuing the stipend in the same amount of $3,300, and the addition of the Ecole Point Ocean in level 4 of the formula in the section entitled Formula Calculations for State-Approved Public Schools.
Can we get a motion?
A motion, please.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
Madam Chair, I move that we accept the recommendations of the department. And I'd also like to add that we also direct the Department of Education to draft a letter to the legislature and request that in the event additional revenue is realized by the RAC, that the legislature add an additional 2.75% of funding, and that additional funding be allocated for dual enrollment.
Okay, that's a motion.
Second. Who's that?
We haven't received that yet. Second. Anybody have a second, or do you want to hear it before? Dr. Bovee, seconded. Dr. Burrow, please.
Thank you. So I want to just express the importance of this particular conversation. Funding our schools adequately and appropriately is something that we should all be concerned about. Further than that, as I've stated many times, outside of the parent or guardian, there's really nothing more important for a child's academic outcomes than having a high-quality educator for every child. We have presented a proposal that we think makes sense. We think it's, of course, we're a little biased, but we think it's thoughtful. We think it certainly elevates the pay of our teachers who have worked so hard over the last few years, but it also provides funding for a small increase in operational costs, as well as jump-starting some of the apprenticeship work or workforce development that we would like to see throughout the state. I want to call out the fact that the MFP task force put forth a different recommendation. You do have that available in a different section in your binder. However, our administration's recommendation is as Kevin shared. Number one, it provides a $2,000 certificated pay raise across the board for teachers and a $1,000 support employee pay raise across the board. It also introduces for the first time a differentiated compensation model into the formula that will allow system leaders and their governing boards the ability to take a pool of money and target those resources in areas that seem the most necessary and needed within their local system, which I think is a real opportunity for us to continue to reduce the amount of vacancies that we see across the state. Next, we have provided funding for apprenticeships in the recommendation, and that's the first time we've directly placed money in here directly and solely for apprenticeships, and we have recognized that transportation costs in rural systems are often more significant than in suburban and urban systems, and so we've increased from $2,500 to $3,500 per kid that amount of money for apprenticeships in that particular funding. In terms of level 3, I believe in 2009 there was a $100 dollar amount that was there was a $100 dollar amount that was determined in level 3 per pupil. And so what we did is we went back and we looked at the annual inflation rate since that point in time and found that over that point in time that was about a 33% increase in inflation. And so we have raised that from $100 per pupil to $133 per pupil. And this is operational funding that can be used for some of the things that we have heard from our system leaders around fuel, utilities, insurance. And so it was to account for inflation in that particular section. The inclusion of the Pointe-aux-Chenes school, this is a legislatively determined school. We have to provide funding for it. We need to do that through the MFP. And then the last piece is just providing clarity on the resident teacher funding so that it's more transparent. There's no additional cost here. It's just making it very public in level 4 what we are providing in terms of the stipend to our teacher residents. And so that's what I would like to share highway, and we'll entertain any questions.
Any questions for Dr. Brumley? While you're thinking of a question, we do have public comments, but before public comment, I'll have Mr. Castillo repeat his motion in a moment. So just be prepped so we can hear it again. Yes, sir, you had a question, Mr. Castillo?
Yes, just wanted the superintendent to clarify one point as it related to the differentiated pay. There's a reference to the pay being made in the form of stipends. So there were questions from the public in terms of whether this is intended to be raises or paid over time, or is this just kind of a one-time allocation? And if you could just further explain that, that would be great.
No, that's a really good question. So the overall impact of the 2,000 and 1,000 is a $3,000 increase in average pay. When we're talking about the differentiated compensation element, that would be permanently in level 4. So that funding would be permanently included in level 4. Now, local system leaders and local boards would have that pool of money within their local system, and they would make determinations year to year on where they would like to allocate those funds. So in one particular year, they may say we have a particular school that's a high-need school, we can incentivize the workforce for that school. The next year, they may make a different decision. That maybe they want to focus that funding on high school math or physics teachers, chemistry teachers. And so there is flexibility within these various spaces, but that funding will be permanently there in level 4 as it moves forward.
Yes, Mr. Morris.
Yeah, just clarification on interpretation there. So, to meet these high demand positions, the $1,000 allocation would be based on that total population, but the individual distribution, they would have discretion to put more than $1,000 to fill positions of need. Is that the right interpretation?
Yes, sir. So if a system had 100 teachers, they would get $100,000. And so they would have that pot of money, and they would be able to determine where to use it. They may want to say our special education teachers that are working with some of our highest need kids who want to provide a $5,000 scholarship. They may want to say that the teachers who are highly effective in a BAM secondary, we may want to pay them more money. So I mean, there's some level of flexibility, and that can change from year to year within the needs of the individual system.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Melvin.
Superintendent Brumley, to follow up on something that you and I talked about last week, on bullet point number 3, the support for the Louisiana workforce on the apprenticeships, I brought to your attention in my area, for example, Caddo Parish is, I'm assuming under the definition of the U.S. Census Bureau, would be considered an urban suburban school district, but there are areas that are quite far away from Shreveport. Ida is on the Arkansas border. It's about an hour away from Shreveport. If anybody's ever been up to Ida, it's clearly a rural area. And you highlighted that this isn't just my area, but Ms. Holloway has Grand Isle. In her area, part of Jefferson, they would face the same problem. I know you were going to look and see if there was any way to, instead of using the U.S. Census Bureau definition, if there was a way we could parse out specific schools as opposed to school districts. I think you have an answer. If you don't mind just sharing that.
First of all, I want to say I appreciate you raising that particular question because we looked at it at the parishes that were federally declared as rural areas. And I don't know of a stronger example than Jefferson with Grand Isle. But for you, certainly, you have Ida, Odessa, Vivian, Belcher, all of those communities. We worked on that, we considered that, and really we could not come up with anything that made sense for us to be able to address those particular circumstances. And so we feel like we just need to probably stay with that federal definition of a rural parish for the time being, but commit to moving forward, continuing to study that issue.
Thank you.
Mr. Morris. Sorry, Mr. Morris.
Sorry, just one more. So obviously, a lot of the focus here is to move towards appropriate recognition of the work that our teachers do and appropriate compensation for that work. And we're not there yet. a lot of the focus is drawn also to the fact that the most recent estimate was we actually got 1,500 or so teacher vacancies. So I remember 2 years ago, we first started this conversation, and I asked, given the national issue here, you know, can you help me out with what's the current state of affairs in Louisiana? How bad is the teacher shortage? And the response I got was, Mr. Morris, there is no SE policy in place today that requires us to provide that information. There is no state law that requires us to provide that information. So we don't have the answer to the question. So the department reached out and looked at a survey. They came back with an estimate of 2,500 teachers short. Took that to the legislature. There was some action that was taken to address that concern. Come back around this year. I asked the same question. I got the same response. The survey was conducted. The response this year was 1,500 vacancies. So I'm wondering if there's any interest in the board that we could pursue some sort of SE policy or approach legislators so that there would be an annual survey conducted so that we do have a sense of how bad the situation is in Louisiana till we get the situation resolved. So I'm interested in, you know, what the interest is there, and Superintendent Brumley, if there's some insight here, what you think might be the best approach if there is any interest with the board.
And look, I think it's been a helpful exercise, Mr. Morris. I do, I really do. I know that it's been another job that we've asked our HR directors to do for us. But without that data, I don't think that we would have been in position to advocate for some of the positions last year. And I think that data gives us, puts us in a better position to make this ask this year. I also think that, you know, we've been conducting some compensation studies, and in our compensation studies, we're finding that it's harder to staff at the high school level than the elementary level. It's harder to staff science, foreign language, math, than some of the other subjects. And so I think that more of that data that we can have, the better off we're going to be to make these policy decisions. And so we're certainly open to continuing our process to get information to help drive the decision.
Thank you, Dr. Brumley. Any other board members have questions before we move into public comment? And if there are no questions, I do have one announcement. We have Miss Marsha Andrews in the building, in the room, and your card came in, Miss Marsha, your card came in after the fact of the item, so we didn't get to call your name. But if you can be patient, we will call you up after we finish this item for you to speak. That's okay? Thank you. All right, on deck, Ms. Tia Mills, Keith Corbill, Larry Corder, and Michael Falk. While waiting for them to come to the table, I think there are 4 chairs there. Please go to the mic. Mr. Castillo, can you please restate your motion for the board members to hear it again?
Yes, ma'am. I move that we approve Louisiana Department of Education's recommendation. In addition, I would like to also add to that motion that we direct the department to draft a letter to the Louisiana legislature to request that in the event additional revenue is realized by the REC, that the Louisiana legislature returns the MFP formula to Bessie to add an additional 2.75% of funding, and that additional funds be allocated for dual enrollment.
Thank you. Ms. Abby, have that? Good, you got it, okay. Thank you, guys, so she can see it while waiting before we. Hi, everyone. Ms. Tia, you're first on deck.
Good afternoon, board members and Superintendent Brumley.
Please state your agency, too.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I am Dr. Tia Mills, President of the Louisiana Association of Educators, and I come before you today to speak on the importance of ensuring that the increase for educators is a sustaining one. It is imperative that we make good on the promise to increase the salaries of educators across our state. While we appreciate the current recommended amount, it still would not bring us to the Southern Regional average. As stated before at the MFP Task Force meeting, 57% of the nation's teachers only make $60,000 up for a year. In the state of Louisiana, only 19% of our teachers earn this same amount. An investment in our educators, or an investment in the profession as well as our students, our support professionals, nor our teachers are earning a living wage. Our certificated programs and higher education institutions are producing fewer and fewer teachers as the years go by. We cannot be complacent with dealing with this situation. The need to move the needle is now. Therefore, we are in need of at least the governor's recommendation with the hopes for more to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mills. Mr. Mike Falk?
Michael Falk with the Louisiana Association of School Superintendents. According to the Louisiana Constitution, Bessie shall annually adopt a formula which shall be used to determine the cost of a minimum program of education and equitably distribute the funds. The cost of a minimum program of education was last determined in 1996. Beginning in 2010, even now, we have seen many reforms and changes to K-12 education in Louisiana. It is hard to imagine that the cost of a minimum program of educating a child in Louisiana has not changed or increased in 27 years. From 1996 until 2000, Governor Mike Foster increased the funding in the MFP until it was fully funded. From 2001 until 2008, the level 1 per pupil increased by 2.75% each year. After 2008-2009 school year, the MFP per pupil in level 1 was not increased again until the 2014-15 school year. From 2008 and 9 until 2022-23, that's 14 years, the per pupil in level 1 has only increased twice. One time in 2014-2015 by 2.75%, the other time in 2019-2020 by 1.25%. From 2014-2015 until 2023, the budget letters show local revenues increased by $674 million and state MFP funding by $387 million. Local school system revenues for funding education increased almost twice as much as the funding in K-12 education. 2022-2023 MFP budget letter, 4.0 state revenue. Local revenue at that time, $4.17 billion. Local school systems are putting up more than the state in funding K-12 education. Now with Superintendent Brumley's proposal, there's some merit to the proposal. Although it does not equitably distribute the funds, there needs to be more work on this concept before it's approved. We are still adamant about the 2.75% increase that continues to be ignored. Although there's some attention given to escalated costs with the increase of 33%, the cost that we are experiencing in our general fund budget, this does not do justice to meeting those needs. We continue to face rising costs and provide services and resources for a minimum program of education. Therefore, on behalf of Louisiana Association of School Superintendents, on behalf of other members of the task force, Charter Schools, Ms. Caroline Roman, she gave me permission to make this statement, and on behalf of Dr. Janet Pope, Executive Director, LSBA, she gave me permission to make this statement. We respectfully request the favorable consideration of the recommendation of the MFT task force, and we also support Mr. Castillo's motion to put more money into the dual enrollment because those costs have increased astronomically. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Falk. Mr. Carter? Oh, Mr. Carter. Did I call you? Oh, yeah. You? You were trying. Go ahead. Thank you.
Hey, everybody. Dr. Keith Corbell, Executive Director of the Associated Professional Educators of Louisiana, and I wanted to speak in support of the department's recommendation, specifically State Superintendent Brumley's recommendation to the MSD Task Force, for numerous reasons. One, it is currently the proposal on the deck with the highest average increase in teacher pay across this state, even further than the governor's proposal. Two, it recognizes both a need to generally increase all teachers' salaries while also providing incentives for teachers in rural districts and high-need schools, and as those teachers that take additional responsibility in career advancement. In addition, it offers up additional funding for districts generally, because we all know inflation has been a challenge for everybody. And all in all, I thought that proposal was exceedingly well thought out. It recognized the complexities in our system and what our state is dealing with today in both terms of educators and district leaderships. And I just wanted to commend all of you for your work on that and commend the state superintendent and his department on leading on that, because I think that was just simply an excellent and well thought out proposal. And now, of course, if there's an opportunity to get more money, we always feel like we got to take it. So I appreciate your additional advocacy in advance. But keep up the great work, and I hope you're all able to continue to work together and benefit our teachers, our students, and our systems. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Corbell. Next, Mr. Carter.
How are you? First, I want to say I'm Larry Carter, President of the Louisiana Federation of Teachers and School Employees, and to the board members, I want to say thank you for allowing me to speak today. Last week, the Minimum Foundation Program, the MFP Task Force, met to consider the 2023-2024 funding formula for Louisiana public schools. The task force makes a recommendation to the Bessie Board and asks them how they would want to moderate the formula and provide raises for teachers and also for school funding. Well, we just heard Dr. Brumley's proposal, and what I would ask and would like to see is for us to look beyond that recommendation and pass an MFP formula that actually meets the needs of our teachers, school support staff, and students. We were about $3,500 below the Southern Regional average in pay in the 2021-2022 school year, and that gap is widening each year. We don't do more. This year, Arkansas is proposing a $10,000 pay raise, which would bring the minimum teacher pay to $50,000 a year. Florida is proposing a record spending for education, including raising the starting pay for teachers to $65,000 a year. Texas has proposed a $15,000 pay raise for teachers and a 25% increase for support staff. Last year, Alabama passed a raise nearly $2,000 larger than what we passed in Louisiana last year, and Mississippi approved an increase averaging over $5,000. In Louisiana, some would like to brag about the increases to teacher and school employee pay that have passed in recent years, but these marginal increases haven't been enough to keep up with our neighboring states. Louisiana has continued to fall further behind the Southern Regional average for teacher pay. Moreover, premium increases by the Office of Group Benefits, OGB, has outpaced raises passed by the legislature. Last year, teacher pay was increased by an average of about 3%, but OGB increased rates by 4.5%. Not to mention all the added cost of living increases that are impacting working families across Louisiana, like increased grocery bills and fuel prices. Since last Friday, March 3rd, at 11:51, nearly 6,700 letters were sent to the members of Bessie. And let's be reminded, there are about 8 elected and 3 appointed Bessie members to this board, for an average of about 600 letters received by each member from teachers and school employees. Some of the comments were, pass a larger raise for teachers and school employees. The task force recommendation is inadequate. Teachers will lead for better pay. Put kids first by paying teachers above average. We will continue to lose teachers and support staff to neighboring states. We started a compensation survey on yesterday. In about 24 hours, there were about 1,921 respondents. 74% were teachers, 18% were school support staff, and 8% were other. 81% are considering leaving their current position. Almost 50% are strongly considering that. 90% said that the salary increases were less than increases in the cost of living. 32% said have needed to use public assistance. And 80% have had to work another job. Right now, though, about 35% say they're working at least one other job. We believe every student deserves to have a highly qualified and certified teacher, but our staffing crisis will only get worse unless we take dramatic action now, before it's too late. Us in the legislature must come together to finally pass a raise that Louisiana's teachers and school employees deserve. We're asking this board to include a pay raise of at least $4,000 for teachers and $2,000 for support staff in this year's MFP proposal. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to the debate. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Carter. Does anyone have any questions, comments? Everyone's clear on the motion from Mr. Castile. Any objections? Sorry.
Separate letter, if additional money is found, you want that in a separate letter, or you want that in the cash flow itself?
And once we vote, Ms. Davis, I'd like you to express to the board your next steps on how we're going to get this information to the legislature. Okay, any questions? All right, without any objection, motion carried. Ms. Davis, can you explain this to the ordinance?
So we submit the MFP, the department submits the MFP with a letter from the president, which includes the information, the motion that was just made, and then it would also include the separate letter that would detail that if additional monies are found, then the 2.5 and dual enrollment would be sent back to us. The MFP would be sent back to us so that we can include those things.
What is the timeline?
March 15th is sent over.
To get the letter to the legislature?
Yes.
Okay. And then we should hear back for our next April meeting?
Well, if it's taken up in committee.
Okay. Let's hope so. All right, thank you. Excuse me, we're going to do, insert Ms. Marcia Andrews. She would like to speak on item 3.1. 70% instructional information.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Marsha Andrews, and I'm with a group of individuals. We are the concerned citizens of Union Parish, and I wasn't sure how I could get an opportunity to speak to the board today. So when I saw the 70%, that tells me that you all are really looking at school districts who are not have 70% of their expenditures are spent on instructional. And we are here with Union because we are concerned about our students. And we want you all's help. I've spoken with our Betsy representative, and she kind of explained to me a little bit that your board doesn't govern the local boards. But we've gone to our local boards, and now we're here at the state level. And we would like to even speak more with you, Dr. Bromley, regarding our school. Our school, our elementary school has been an L since 2013, and we have said it's gone on too long. We believe that all of our children should be entitled to a good education, and I think we believe that if more of our dollars are spent on our instructional, and that money is spent more for our children, our kids will improve and have a better quality of education. So we're here, we have some more members that's gonna be joining us at the Betsy meeting tomorrow to, really advocate for our kids and ask you all to take a look at Union, Parish School District. We are down to, we only have 2 schools and 1 type 3 charter school in our district. We have some, type 2 charters in the area where our funding is distributed to. But our traditional public school is suffering the most out of all of them. So we've heard of different things about recovering school district. We're willing to try any and everything to help our students and to improve their education. I don't understand a lot when you all pass the MFP and give teachers increase. Well, we have a situation in our areas, a lot of our certified teachers leave and move into a support position. So we just feel like when they leave out of the classroom into the support staff position, although they have a certification, they shouldn't still get the same increases. And I don't know if you all have any governing over that, but we are here to seek if anyone, willing to speak with me afterwards, any guidance and what we can do to help change those procedures and practice at our school district. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Andrews. Next item, please.
On page 98, item 4.2, consideration of LDE and RSD contracts greater than 50,000. The recommendation is to approve.
Motion, I'm sorry, Dr. Davis and Mr. Rock. Any objection? Motion carried. Next item, please.
On page 114, item 4.3, consideration of federal and state grants and allocations to LEAs, type 2 charters, type 5 charters, approved non-public schools, and community-based organizations, formula, competitive, and other. Recommendation is to approve.
Motion.
Before motion,
Sure.
I-
Dr. Berman.
Yeah, I would like to just amend the administration's recommendation here. I would like to approve everything except for the first item that you see, CIR discipline round 1. I would like to defer that particular item to the April meeting, just because of some additional information that came into us late. So we would like to approve everything except for the first item, item 1, the $170,000 item, and defer that one until April.
Mrs. Scott, are you good? Got it. Thank you. Motion, Dr. Bofi, any second? A recusal. Anyone else has a recusal? Ms. Boche? Excuse me? Wait, we need a motion first.
Yeah, we need a.
I'm sorry, I thought it was a motion. Motion, please. Mr. Mallory and Dr. Davis. All right, recusal, Dr. Bofi, Ms. Boche, anyone else? Any other comments, any objection? Motion carried. Next item.
Wait, I'm sorry. Are we gonna make a motion for the deferral? We did that one? I didn't get a deferral.
Is Dr.
Recommended. Just a statement?
Just approve those and
You don't need a
that
motion?
one will come back. It's not our official. We're just pulling that one out and it'll come back in.
Tomorrow. Oh, okay. Okay.
It won't be in tomorrow's motion.
Okay.
You're good? Okay, we're all good? Ms. Hunt? All right, next item, please.
On page 144, item 6.1, consideration of a report regarding the legislative process for the 2023 regular legislative session. Recommendation is to approve.
Approved. Dr. Davis, second, Mr. Rock. Any report? All good, any objection to these reports? Motion carried. Next item, please. Oh, wait. Did we miss this? 4.3. Allocations, I'm sorry, we have comment cards on item 4.3. Lillian Dijon and Nicole Flores. Please come forward. Support the recommendation. Support. And Nicole, you do not wish to speak. Where's Nicole? Nicole, okay, would you come up if you'd like to sit up front? It's okay. Lillian?
Hi, yes, my name is Lillian Dejean, and I was just here to answer any questions about the marshal forum.
Wait, Ms. Nicole, put your mic on, please. Let's see. Press the button. It's green. Pull it closer to you.
Hello, my name is Lillian Dejean, and I submitted a card stating that if you guys had any questions about the leadership forum, I'd be happy to answer any comments or concerns.
Nicole, can you please identify your agency? Who do you work for? Or
I'm Lillian Dejean, and I work with Families Helping Families of Indiana.
very good, thank you. Anyone have a question for Lillian? All right, thank you. And Ms. Nicole?
I'm Nicole Flores. I'm the Executive Director of Families Helping Families of Acadiana, and I was just here to answer questions as well.
Anyone have questions for Ms. Nicole? No questions? Thank you, ladies, for being here. Appreciate it. Next item, please.
On page 148, item 6.2, consideration of legislative reports. Recommendation is to receive the reports in response to HR 176 of the 2022 regular session regarding curriculum development, HCR 113 of the 2022 regular session regarding standardized testing costs, HR 119 and SR 133 of the 2021 regular session regarding the Early Literacy Commission, revised statute 17, section 3921.2 regarding statewide educational technology, HR 140 of the 2022 regular session, the review of classroom instructional requirements required in state law, the HR 174 report of the 2022 regular session regarding statewide accountability system, revised statute 17, section 392.1 regarding dyslexia occurrence, SR 196, the 2022 regular session. This is the joint Bessie and Richards report regarding computer coding and ASL substitutes for foreign language and TOPS requirements. Revised statute 17, section 17.4 regarding annual physical education status. SCR 31 of the 2022 regular session regarding the Related Services Advisory Commission. Revised statute 17, section 264 regarding the Distinction for Community Service Diploma Endorsement Program. Act 93 of 2019 regular session, the Jason Platt Act. And those are the received items. Additionally, the recommendation is to approve the report in response to revised statute 17, section 407.101 regarding the Early Childhood Care and Education Commission, and to authorize the LD to submit that report to the legislature.
Thank you. Motion, Mr. Roth. Second. Mr. Mallory. Any objection? Motion carried. Next item, please.
That concludes your agenda.